The most common question I get about sociology is, what career can I do? Can I get a job? Am I unemployable as a sociology graduate? So in today's video, I'm going to be answering those questions and talking about the most common career paths for sociology students. I'm going to be breaking this video down into three parts. Number one, I'm going to be talking about the most common career paths based on my research, some stats, and also some average salaries. So some hard numbers for you, some of you that like stats. Secondly, I'm going to be talking about my own experience as a sociology graduate, looking for jobs, my whole thought process when it comes to that. And thirdly, I'm going to be talking about some advice for those of you who might be worried about doing sociology as a degree because of, career prospects. So obviously, as a disclaimer, I have done as much research as I can, but obviously I can't cover everything. So do your own research, apply it to your own situation as much as you can. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, and there'll also be resources linked in the description. So definitely check those out. So let's get into it. In this section, I'm going to be talking about the most common career paths for sociology grads from research and also from talking to people that I know. And according to a Guardian article about career options for sociology graduates are found in a wide range of occupations. Now, this might surprise some of you, so that's what we're going to get into in this section. But they do note that sociology graduates actually end up in jobs that have some sort of impact in society. And now that I'm not surprised about, because the nature of society and the nature of sociology means that you have to have some sort of compassion for people. That's why a lot of people end up in careers that impact society. So the first bit that I want to talk about is stereotypical roles that sociology graduates end up in. So, the following common job roles are stereotypical, and I want to emphasize that as a preface to this section. Most sociology graduates go into education, HR, social services, criminal justice, welfare services, government, counselling, charities, and the volunteering sector. And as an example, some of my friends did go into government roles for placements. So placements in government, in various departments like agriculture, HMRC, education, and obviously some people also went into placements within the University of Bath itself, which is where I studied. So I think the reason for this is obviously because sociology is naturally a people subject. So you're going to want to apply your knowledge to your work, and that's where a lot of people end up. And that's why you see the stereotypical when you're thinking about job options for sociology grads. So that's where you can go, but also there are non-stereotypical roles that lots of sociology graduates go into. So for example, journalism, marketing, mental health, which is a bit more psychology leaning, including and things like life coaching, marketing, and UX design, which is what I kind of went into, which I'll go into a little bit more later. And I love this quote from the Guardian article, which says, "I don't believe sociology is non-vocational, simply that it equips you for most vocations. Vocational means that, you study something and you're going to go into it for work. So for example, medicine, you study medicine, you're going to become some sort of a doctor or in the medical profession. Or if you study, say, social work, then you're probably going to social services or social work, which is actually what people think sociologists do. But sociology is not really vocational in that sense. It's the same as other humanities such as history, geography, English, or things like that, because there is no defined role that you're going to move into. But I love that this quote is actually saying that sociology equips you for most vocations, for most roles. So for example, that is the reason why you see sociology graduates in such a wide variety of career paths. So, life coaching or UX design or marketing like myself, or you'll see people going to research, HR, journalism, things like that. And because sociology does equip you with so many transferable skills, such as researching, qualitative and quantitative, which you'll do in university, understanding society, how it affects people, making reasoned arguments, and just being a decent human being. I'm looking off because I'm looking at notes. if you're wondering. And the British Sociological Association says that the requirement to reason and critically analyze the workings of society makes sociology an effective medium of intellectual development in the course of an undergraduate degree or other program of study, and employers recognize this. It's really important to know that employers really value the quote-unquote soft skills, which are basically transferable skills that you can take from job to job, from role to role, that are relevant in all careers. You need to be able to communicate your ideas effectively and clearly in a reasoned way, which is why sociology is great for that, because you're constantly putting forward arguments in a way that justifies yourself with research as well. And another common path, not necessarily career path, that people go down is actually further study. And many people go into further study after realizing there's a certain topic that they're really interested in. This could be within the sociology field or similar or something completely different. So actually someone that I know on my course actually decided that they preferred marketing and psychology. And the beauty of the course that I was in, the sociology course that I was in the University of Bath, is that you really could tailor your course to your interests, and there were lots of optional modules that you can take on various topics, and also you can take modules from other departments such as marketing and psychology, which is what this course mate did. And you can also do courses that aren't traditionally like master courses. So for example, a law conversion course, PGCE for teaching, or counselling. And now let's go on to the stats. So for those of you who like stats, you'll like this bit. So social sciences in the following 2017 to 18 stat is from prospects.ac.uk, refers to social sciences as politics, sociology, psychology, law, and geography, which is a diverse group. So just bear that in mind, it's not specific exactly to sociology, but it is representative in a way. So just over 51.7% of graduates from social science disciplines were in full-time employment. It doesn't say how long after education, so bear that in mind, of which geography had the highest number, 58.9%, and psychology had the lowest, 47.7%, just under half. But on the flip side, psychology graduates were actually most likely to be in part-time work or combining work and study, and that is actually higher than any other social science subject, so that is including sociology. And I think that's really interesting, and it makes sense because most of the common career paths for sociology or social science graduates are career paths that require further study. So for example, law requires a law conversion course, which would mean you're not in employment. So I think you need to take the context around these stats into consideration, because otherwise you could easily think that social science graduates are unemployable, and actually a lot of them are going into further study, so that kind of skews the statistics, if you get what I mean. An interesting stat is, compared to students and graduates across all subjects, social science had the lowest percentage of people who go into tech roles. And that's quite interesting because I'm actually working in tech, so I'm in that 1.6% of social science grads who go into tech roles. And I think because this industry is booming, I think we're going to see a lot more social science grads go into this kind of environment. And I think if you're interested in social impact, tech is a great place to go into, because there's a lot of emphasis around sustainable, ethical technology. And as sociology graduates, they're going to be wanting people like us who understand society, understand people. So going into salary, okay, let's talk about salary, because this is probably one of the most contentious points. Other than sociology is employable, unemployable, sociology is also, they get low pay once you get a job. So of those who went straight into full-time employment, politics graduates saw the highest average salary of 25K, also above the average for graduates across all subject areas. This is politics in specifically. And for psychology and sociology graduates, which is relevant to us today, the average salaries were 20.5K to 20.7K respectively. Of course, these are the average. There are going to be outliers. There are going to be people who earn a lot more, people who are going to earn maybe less, and this depends on the context. So obviously, if you're going to part-time employment, you're going to be earning a lot less than 25K. But if you're going into tech, for example, you'll probably earn more than someone who's going into civil service, maybe. Although the stability of roles might be different, but that's also debatable. So yeah, if you have any questions about these, definitely drop them below and go into the sources linked in the comments. And also check out the resources linked in the description if you are interested. So in this section, I'm going to be talking about my own experience of looking for jobs, my thought process for looking for jobs as a career, as a sociology student. I don't know why I'm doing this in my head. And I want to say that all my jobs that I've had over the course of my lifetime, which is only 21 years as of filming, have varied massively. So I've done waitressing, I've done teaching English online, TEFL in short. I've also done marketing, I've now done design. And so you can really see the breadth of career paths and jobs that you can go into. And I've gone, in the education sector with TEFL, to hospitality with waitressing, marketing. I was in the education sector as well for that job, and with UX design and marketing now, I'm now in fintech. So you can really see the breadth and the variety that you can really get as a sociology graduate. And I want to be living proof that sociology graduates can do anything within reason that they like as a job. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process. And when I was going into A-level, I never would have thought that I would have ended up here talking to you right now, in the position that I'm in a UX/marketing internship that I'm going to be releasing a day in my life very soon, or if it's not out already. If it's out already, I'll put it in the card somewhere. But initially, when I was going into A-levels, I was set on going into art school. I was set into going to CSM, Central St Martin's, which is a really good art school in London. But then I started doing sociology, and I actually realized that this is where my passion lies. I want to do sociology. I want to impact people. And from there, I went to kind of life coaching, which I've been doing for almost 2 years now, which is insane. As a sociology student, as someone who wants to have an impact, life coaching is something that has been really rewarding for me. But yeah, from that, I kind of realized marketing is also my thing as well, because as a business, as a small business, a life coaching business, I had to do my own marketing. I had to sell myself basically to find clients, which I'm really grateful that I have been able to connect with so many people all over the world. But then kind of as time went on, as I did marketing for other companies, I realized that maybe this is not something that I want to do as a career. For certain projects and things, I don't mind it, it's fun. But as a career path, I think it's not as fulfilling as it could be. And so I kind of connected the marketing sociology and my art background in fine art for A-level, and all that together kind of merged into what I'm doing now, which is kind of UX design, user experience design. And the beauty of UX design, which I will probably speak more on the channel if you want, is that people come from all walks of life, all industries. You see engineers going into it, you can see marketers, you can see graphic designers going into it. And that's just really cool. And so I want to say, as a sociology student, don't limit yourself to what you haven't, to only things that you have considered, right? Don't close doors on paths that you've never considered, even before you get there. So I want to say, just keep your mind as open as possible is my personal advice. If you'd like to know more about my own story, just comment any questions that you have and I'll get back to you. So in this section, I'm going to be talking about some advice that I'd give to you if you're worried about studying sociology because of career options or lack thereof. So some common objections that people hear is like, but what are you going to do afterwards? What is sociology? Isn't sociology unemployable? But what I need you to understand is that I think people don't really understand what sociology is, and hence why they have these objections. And obviously vocational subjects like medicine are way easier to understand because there's a set path. But with many subjects, actually most subject areas and topic areas, there is no set path, And if they don't know what sociology is, shameless plug, definitely send them this video where I give an introduction of what sociology is. So hopefully that helps for any of you who need to understand and explain what it is. But just send a link if, they're asking a lot of questions. But it is similar to other subjects, like I said before, English, history, geography, etc. Like, if you are doing history as a degree, are you really going to be a historian afterwards? Like, no, of course not. I mean, some people might go down the academic route, but most people will probably go into corporate and do something like media, journalism, maybe do a law conversion course. So actually, it's very similar to a lot of the other humanities subjects, which most people don't understand. Again, and as a PSA in this area of career and sociology, most employers don't care what you've done. Most employers, if we're talking about non-vocational subjects, right, will accept graduates from any subject, so long as your experience or your passions are aligned with the company. And it's much more about transferable skills, your ability to communicate, like you said, like I said earlier, and most importantly, work experience, which is why I emphasize this so much. You know, we can talk about work experience another time, finding work experience, but work experience is really important, whether that's volunteering, internship, or whatever. So that's what I would worry more about than actually your eventual career. So I would advise you to just do something that you enjoy and that you're good at, reasonably good at least, and then kind of just go from there. Because when you go into sociology, when you're in year one, you probably don't really know exactly what you're interested in. But when you do the modules, when you study certain subjects, certain topic areas, you'll realize that your heart is in some more than others. So you might want to go down those routes rather than the ones that you don't really enjoy that much. So hope that makes sense. And I think it'll actually be quite fun to do a apply for jobs with me as a sociology graduate video. So like this video, thumbs up if you want to see that, because I think it'll be really interesting. Walk you through my whole application process and my CV, things like that. So yeah, that might be fun to do. So I want to end this on this quote that I kind of made up. No degree guarantees you a job. A degree isn't a job guarantee, right? Especially with the unpredictability of life and the dystopian world that we live in, right? Job certainty is definitely one of the most inevitable things after death and taxes. So I encourage you to just embrace this as another part of your journey. Like, if you're choosing to go to university to study sociology, I applaud you. I think more people should do that. But, you know, we need people who are empathetic. We need people who understand the world. So whatever career you go into, they will be lucky, very fortunate and blessed to have you in their company or sector. So I say go forth and conquer that field that you want to go into, conquer that area of interest that you really enjoy. So yeah, if you have any other questions about careers or career options, definitely link them. Definitely leave it in the comments below. If you found it helpful, also just give it a thumbs up. That'd be really helpful. So yeah, with all that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye.